Batman is a hero who managed to cross generations with a huge number of fans of all ages and tastes. Batman has starred in stories that are both light and colorful and dark and macabre. Regardless of the plot, there is always an antagonist challenging Bruce Wayne's abilities. In this video, we're going to introduce you to the 8 scariest villains who managed to make Batman feel fear. Number 1, Scarecrow. A villain that can easily be defined as fear itself is Dr. Jonathan Crane, better known as Scarecrow. This villain's power lies in the use of chemical substances that induce hallucinations and nightmares in their victims, even when they are not sleeping. Over the years, Scarecrow has faced Batman several times and is one of the few villains who manages to penetrate the hero's mind and blackmail him. With its poisons, Scarecrow is able to make Batman imagine things that aren't there, forcing Bruce to create new strategies to stay on his feet. In an event called Fear's State, which takes place in the future of the DC universe, the Scarecrow has evolved its toxin to the point where it is able to reach all of Gotham at once, causing the city to destroy itself. Despite not being Batman's strongest villain, it is undeniable that Scarecrow is capable of causing fear whenever he appears, and that is why he is one of the most feared by Bruce Wayne and comic book readers. Number 2, Killer Croc. In comics, a very common category of villains is that of giant monsters, where Killer Croc, the crocodile, fits perfectly. The good news is that he lives in the sewers, which means Batman only faces him when he needs to visit the place. But don't think he's completely isolated, as there's a whole life underneath Gotham. The man behind the thick skin is called Waylon Jones, who transforms into the crocodile ready to devour anyone. In fact, all he wants is to be peaceful and quiet in his corner, which makes him ready to attack any intruder who crosses his barriers and invades his property. The crocodile is not always the villain of the story, since in many cases he was Batman's ally. Currently, he is considered almost as an anti-hero, but his unpredictability is what strikes fear in the Bat. It is not known what his next step will be, which means Batman is always alert by his side, whether as an ally or enemy. When your partner is a giant man-eating crocodile, any move can be dangerous, which is why Batman's senses must always be very sharp. Number 3, Bane. In the category of giant villains, we have the monstrous Bane, injected with substances that make him extremely strong and gigantic. However, that's not all that makes Batman fear for his life, because this time he has a real reason. Bane was responsible for 2 landmark and terrifying events in Batman's life, which occurred one after the other. The most famous was when Bane broke into Wayne Manor and broke the Bat's back, leaving him paralyzed and unable to carry out his mission as the Dark Knight. The other event was Alfred's death, caused by Bane himself. With that, the villain carved his name into Batman's mind, who knows he needs to protect his loved ones when Bane appears in town. This constant fear is like a ticking time bomb. In the movie The Dark Knight Rises, Bane appeared and conveyed this concept of fear very well, showing how Batman can suffer mentally when his enemy exceeds his expectations. Number 4, Professor PYG. Taking a more visceral approach, we have Professor PYG, who acts as a human butcher within Gotham, using his circus as an excuse to kidnap people who are his guinea pigs. In addition to causing fear and disgust in anyone, he is the only one who manages to mix both at the same time. Everything he does is so grotesque that it would come as no surprise to see Batman vomiting during a confrontation. This is due to his enormous dislike for humanity and his obsession with performing plastic surgery on other people. What makes Professor PYG interesting is not just what he does, but the impact he has made on DC Comics. From him, Batman's villains began to have a darker and more tense approach, focused on fear. The PYG turned out to be a grim and tense introduction to a whole new generation of nightmare-inducing villains. These new villains were created with the intention of being more realistic, forcing Batman to have a stronger stomach to face death and violence. Number 5, Joker. A classic character that could not be left out is the Joker, the legendary and famous psychotic clown of crime in Gotham City. He's been present in Batman stories since the beginning, and he's one of the few who doesn't care about discovering Bruce Wayne's true identity, as all he wants is chaos. His trajectory of deaths to drive Batman crazy began a long time ago, with the murder of Jason Todd, one of the first Robins, who would later become the Red Hood. But the Joker didn't stop there, he also shot Barbara Gordon in the spine, leaving her a paraplegic. These two cases show the Joker's evil, but there are many others where he wreaked havoc on the Bat family. The problem with the Joker is his unpredictability. He manages to be worse than all the other villains because he has no reason to do what he does, he just likes to cause chaos. Number 6, Black Mask. Despite sharing wealthy families and mutual hatred, Black Mask is a villain who differs greatly from Batman in his history. His criminal mind is considered one of the most insane that the Bat has ever faced, having even killed his own parents. The mask that covers his face is made from wood taken from his father's coffin, and he became one of the most dangerous criminals to roam the streets of Gotham. Number 7, Solomon Grundy. If there's a Batman villain who looks like he's straight out of a horror movie, it's Solomon Grundy, the Zombie Man. Despite being terrifying and frightening, he appears to have somewhat limited intelligence, clearly lacking a few neurons. However, that doesn't stop him from being a strong threat to Batman and the entire city of Gotham. Grundy's only mission in life is to take revenge on the mobsters who killed him some time ago. At times, he even seems to be on the same side as Batman, but his approach is much more brutal and tense, failing Bruce Wayne's test of heroism. Just like Killer Croc, the big guy is also an anti-hero. The problem is, he's not the most refined person in the world, so everything about him feels a lot rougher than it should. He is more used as a mass attack weapon than someone to come up with elaborate plans. That's precisely why he becomes dangerous and scary for Batman, as he never knows what the zombie's next step will be. Number 8, Batman Who Laughs. In conclusion, it's important to mention the Batman Who Laughs who scared the Bat in two different universes. This character is so crazy that even the Joker is scared of him. The story begins when Bruce breaks the Joker's neck, releasing some toxins and transforming himself into a deranged version of the Joker. The Batman Who Laughs killed the entire Bat family using firearms, striking fear not only in himself, but also in the Batman of the standard DC universe, who traveled between worlds to stop this evil version of himself from destroying everything. While not a constant Batman villain, the Batman Who Laughs is remembered for scaring the Bat in two different realities. Hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.